It's day one of the celebrity trial gripping much of the nation. Sean Diddy Combs, once one of entertainment's most powerful moguls, accused of crimes so heinous, he faces the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. He's denied all charges, and just a warning, this story contains accounts, descriptions, and visual content of actual or alleged events that some may find disturbing.
Can't talk about the case at all.
Courtroom's buzzing. All eyes on Sean P. Diddy Combs. Music king, untouchable until now. Cassie Ventura, his ex, steps up, pregnant, fearless, ready to spill her story. We're talking chilling testimony, photos that shock, evidence nobody saw coming. What's got Diddy shaking in front of the jury? This trial's wild, outbursts, a legacy question. Hey, it's the Whisperer Stories, diving into another real story. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's go. Okay, so the courtroom's dead quiet, like you could hear a pin drop. Then Cassie Ventura walks in, pregnant, head high, eyes fixed ahead. She steps in the witness box, and you just feel the tension spike. Like, whoa, this is happening. What's she gonna say? She takes a deep breath, and you know it's about to get real. Cassie starts, and man, it's heavy. She's steady, but you can tell the fight to stay composed. Says Diddy controlled everything. Her schedule, her friends, even her outfits. Then she hits us with these freak-offs. Yeah, you heard me. Says Diddy set up these scenes where he'd watch her with others, calling every shot down to the room's vibe. Can you even wrap your head around that? She was 22, barely out of her teens, thinking she had to play along to keep him happy. And Diddy? He's falling apart. The guy who owns every room? Not here. Fidgeting, pale, like he's itching to run. This music titan's watching his ex rewrite his story. And we're just getting started.
He said that Sean Combs directed everything from what she had on to the lighting in the room to how she was supposed to interact with the person that she was having sex with. And again, just to reiterate what is a freak off, the freak off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, wanting to watch her have sex with someone else. And she said that she did it because she was 22, 21. She was young. She didn't know any better, and that she wanted to please Sean Combs.
So, Cassie's up there, voice steady but heavy, and she's not holding back now. Those freak-offs she mentioned? Yeah, they're as messed up as they sound. She says Diddy didn't just set these things up, he was orchestrating them, telling her who to be with, how it should go, even what the room should feel like. It wasn't a one-time thing either. Cassie says it felt like a job, something she had to do, no questions asked. Can you even process that? She's this young singer, barely in her 20s, stuck in this world where saying no feels impossible. Then, man, her voice cracks. She starts choking up, and you can hear the whole courtroom lean in. Why'd she do it? She says it was to make Diddy happy, to feel close to him. Thought it'd earn his love, maybe a moment just for them. Like, she actually loved him, you know? It's heartbreaking, honestly. You're hearing this and thinking, how does someone get pulled into that kind of control? It's not just physical. It's her mind he's got a grip on.
At some point in time, she actually had said that she looked forward to the freak-offs. Why did Cassie express looking forward to these said freak-offs?
When the prosecution asked her, was there ever a time that you enjoyed the freak-offs? This is when Cassie got choked up, and she said, I did, but only because I got to spend one-on-one time with Combs, and I really did love him.
And Diddy? Oh, he's a mess now. That cool collective vibe? Long gone. He's scribbling notes like a maniac, shoving them at his lawyers, who are jumping up with objections left and right. They're desperate to stop her. You can see him squirming, face all tight, like he knows every word's another hit he can't dodge. I mean, think about it. This guy's used to running the show, right? But here, he's got no control. Cassie's laying it all bare, and the jury's eating it up.
And what you hear is someone that was young and she even said, you know, I was young, I was naive, I didn't know any better. But she's really telling the story of someone who thought she was going to be with someone in this music industry that was going to help her career, that cared about her, but quickly learned after the freak-offs that wasn't the case. And what I thought was also interesting is she said that after that first freak-off, she said she felt dirty. She didn't want to do it. And when she brought up the idea of having a conversation about the freak-offs in an email, which the jurors saw, she said she backpedaled in the email because Combs responded by saying, "I know, you don't want to do it." And she said, "Oh, no, well, it's not that." But that was the beginning. That was in 2010, where she brings up in an email that she wanted to have a conversation about this. And in her words, she didn't want to do it, but she felt like she had to do it.
You got to ask yourself, how much worse is this going to get for him? Because trust me, it's about to.
I think what made Cassie emotional is having to describe the details of the freak-off and why she did it. When she talked about wanting to do it to please Sean Combs, that's when she broke down. Up until that point, she had just been answering the questions. She's a little soft-spoken at times, but that's when she got emotional. When she had to answer the question about if she enjoyed it, that's when she broke down, because she said, "I enjoyed being with Sean Combs." And she says, "I did it because it made him happy."
What did the expressions of the jurors look like?
The jurors are laser focused on what Cassie has to say. And that's to be expected, right? Because she is the person who will likely be on the stand, according to attorneys, for 2, maybe 3 days. She's the one that was in the relationship with Sean Combs for over 10 years. So she's got a lot to say.
Okay, so Cassie's still on the stand. And just when you think it can't get darker, she drops this. A night at the Four Seasons Hotel years ago that nobody, not the press, not the fans, knew about. She's talking soft, almost whispering, and the courtroom's hanging on every word. She says it started at a fancy industry party. Diddy saw her chatting with another music exec, and boom, he snapped, grabbed her arm so hard it left marks, hissing threats in her ear while smiling for the crowd. Like, how does someone even do that? Keep up that fake charm while losing it? It gets worse. Cassie says he dragged her through the hotel lobby, crying, trying to pull away. People saw it. Hotel security steps up, but when they recognize Diddy, he says she's fine, and they just leave. You hearing this? She's alone, scared, and nobody helps.
Prosecutors have wasted no time getting right into the alleged abuse that Cassie Ventura says she endured for years. Ventura telling jurors, quote, "He would bash my head, knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me in the head when I was down." She also got into the nature of those so-called freak-offs, saying that they involved hiring an escort and they performed under the direction of Combs, saying that they happened so frequently it eventually became a job for her to set them up. Ventura said she did not feel she had much of a choice but to participate, that she feared that Combs would retaliate or potentially blackmail her if she did not. And she's had at times to she's taken deep breaths, pausing her testimony, Combs appearing to be listening pretty passively with his hands in his lap at the defense table there.
Up in the room, she says Diddy went wild. Threw a champagne bottle at her head. Missed by inches, glass shattering. Flipped a table, left chaos. And then, he wouldn't let her leave. For 2 days. Took her phone. Said she'd regret calling anyone. Can you even imagine being trapped like that? Then, the room goes dead silent. Cassie's lawyer pulls out photos. Shaky mirror shots she took the next morning. Bruises on her arms. A split lip. Red marks around her neck. You can feel the jury's shock. One woman's wiping tears, another's covering her mouth. Some guys can't look. Diddy's lawyers are freaking out, yelling these photos shouldn't count, saying they're not legit. The judge shuts them down every time, and those pictures hit the screen. Diddy's just frozen, like he didn't know she had these. His team's scrambling, but it's too late. You gotta wonder, right? How's he gonna spin this one? Because this shifts the jury's view.
What the defense is going to say is that this wasn't blackmail, this was not coercion, this was consensual. We know that Cassie started out with Sean Combs as an early person, with someone who is trying to get her career started, and he was going to help her. That's what the defense is going to say, that she was starting out and wanted someone to support her. They did their first record deal together. That's something I think the defense is going to focus on, and had it not been for Sean Combs, she wouldn't be where she is right now. The prosecution obviously is saying he was in control. It may have started out as a consensual. It may have started out with her being excited about seeing him, but ultimately he took control of that relationship. He took control of her career. This is their key witness, and she's on that stand trying to explain all of the charges that the prosecution wants to hit home with that jury.
So, the courtroom's still reeling from those photos, right? Everyone's thinking, how do you top that? But Cassie, she's not done. She's got more. Stuff she's been holding on to for years, evidence Diddy never saw coming. First up, she says she's got text messages, not just from him, but from big names. Rappers, producers, people in Diddy's inner circle who saw things go down at parties, backstage, you name it. And these aren't random texts. She's talking messages from folks who were worried about her, saying what they saw wasn't right. Like, one rapper texts her after a Grammy party, offering her a place to stay. A pop star who's known him for years says this ain't normal. Another producer, someone who worked with Diddy for years, says he told him to get help. You hearing this? People knew something was off. Then come Diddy's own texts. Cassie says she saved them. Screenshots where he's apologizing, promising it won't happen again, even offering her cars, apartments, money to keep quiet. One's like $2 million for a clean break. Just don't talk about the last 5 years. I mean, what do you even say to that? The jury's seeing all this on screen, and you can just feel the room shift. But the real kicker? She's got recordings. Actual audio of Diddy's voice, saying things she claims were threats against her family if she ever spoke out. When they play these in court, it's like the air gets sucked out. And Diddy? He loses it. Jumps up, yelling, "That's not how it went." His lawyers practically tackle him, trying to shut him up, but he's shouting over the tape. The judge calls a recess, but man, everyone saw that. He's unraveling big time. His team's in panic mode, objecting, saying these messages and tapes shouldn't count, calling them hearsay or whatever. Judge isn't buying it. Lets it all in. And get this, while this is happening, people who came with Diddy, his entourage, they start slipping out. One by one, they're gone, leaving him sitting there, almost alone. You gotta ask, what does it mean when even your own crew walks away? Cassie's evidence didn't just shake the courtroom. It's rocking his whole world.
So there was a moment early on when Cassie mentioned Dallas Austin, who she called a friend who's a producer. So I don't know if that's someone that we're going to hear from. We know that there were pictures shown to prospective jurors that are well-known celebrities, you know, Kanye West, Kid Cudi, Lauren London. We don't know, though, how they fit yet into why they were even asked, do you know these people? Are you familiar with them? Because she's such a key witness, it's likely that she will be on that stand the rest of the day. We learned that Cassie referred to him as Pop Pop, and Sean Combs would refer to her as CC. The prosecution says, what does CC stand for? She said Cassie Combs.
What kind of witness is Cassie coming off as to the jurors?
I think naturally when you look at her visually, people see that she's pregnant and looking like she's due any day now. So they might, have empathy, sympathy for her in that way, but we don't really know. We know that they've been instructed to be fair and impartial. As to what type of witness she's coming off as, she's describing someone that she was, someone she said that was trying to figure out who she was at that time and who she was allowed to be. Now you're looking at somebody that's almost 40 years old, totally different person, but even in describing what was going on at her at that time, taking drugs, trying to please Sean Combs, she's really just sort of laying out the case for her not having a lot of control. So I think that's the takeaway. This is someone who is making it very clear that at that particular time in her life, she says she did not have any control really over what she wore, what she did, who she was having sex with.
Man, after all that, the texts, the tapes, his own people bailing, Diddy's not the same guy who walked into that courtroom. You remember that slick, confident mobile from day one? Yeah, that's gone. Now he's just a mess. Cassie's still up there, laying out her story, and he can't sit still. He's shaking his head, muttering stuff under his breath, loud enough the jury's glancing over. Like, dude, you know they're watching, right? Every move he makes, they're clocking it. It gets wilder. She starts talking about another moment she claims went down at his Hamptons place, and Diddy snaps. Slams his hand on the table, so hard it echoes. The whole room freezes. The judge is like, Mr. Combs, you better chill, or you're out of here. I mean, can you imagine? A guy who's always in control, getting warned like that, like he's fighting to hold it together. But he can't stop. Keeps mouthing, "That's not true." Every time Cassie says something heavy, his lawyers are sweating, trying to calm him down, but it's like he's not even hearing them. The jury's locked on him now. Not just listening to Cassie, they're studying him. Every twitch, every outburst. You gotta wonder what's going through their heads. Here's this music legend, someone who's called all the shots his whole life, and he's crumbling in front of them. Cassie's words are hitting hard, and he's got no way to shut her up. No PR team, no security, nothing. It's just him, stuck there, watching his whole world shift. How do you even come back from that? So, here we are at the end of day 2, and man, it's a lot to take in. Cassie Ventura stood up there, pregnant, pouring out a decade of pain, claims of control, abuse, those freak-offs, that hotel nightmare. She didn't just tell her story. She backed it up. Photos, texts, recordings. Stuff she says paints a whole different picture of Sean P. Diddy Combs, not the music king we've seen on red carpets. The jury's faces, Diddy's outbursts, his own crew walking out. It's like his legacy's under fire, you know? But here's the thing. We don't know what's next. Will the jury buy Cassie's story? Can Diddy's reputation bounce back? And what does it say about power in this industry when someone like her has to fight this hard to be heard? I'm just in awe of her courage, honestly. So what's your take? Comment below. Is Cassie rewriting the game? Want more like this? Subscribe to The Whisperer Stories and tell me what case to whisper next. I'll see you in the next whisper. Stay curious, y'all.